Short story writers. Short story writers write short pieces of prose fiction that generally focus on a single theme, simple plots and few characters. There is considerable debate surrounding what should be the appropriate word limit for a piece of fiction to be considered a short story. It is generally considered to be between 1,000 to about 20,000 words. Edgar Allan Poe, the famous American author regarded to be one of the earliest writers of short stories, defined a short story as a short piece of fiction that can be read in one sitting. However, this categorization is also subjective. There is no concrete definition of what constitutes the time limit for one sitting. Many novelists begin their career as writers of short stories. Writing shorter pieces of prose before commencing a lengthier piece of work gives them an opportunity to hone their writing skills and get an idea about the readership for their works. It also helps popularize the writer's name in the market so that any other work by the same author is received favorably. Short stories are mostly based on a single theme that revolves around a small cast of characters, and are usually less complex than novels. Listed below is a collection of the biographies about the lives and works of famous short story writers from around the world. 1. Roald Dahl. One of the world's greatest authors. Roald Dahl. Birth date: September 13, 1916. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Llandaff, Cardiff, Wales. Died November 23, 1990. British writer Roald Dahl is considered as one of the greatest children's authors. He is one of the best-selling authors of all time and had a career spanning decades. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, The Witches, The Twits and Matilda are some of his classic works. He also wrote short stories and novels meant for adults. 2. Rabindranath Tagore. Poet. Rabindranath Tagore. Birth date: May 7, 1861. Sun sign: Taurus. Birthplace: Kolkata, West Bengal, India. Died August 7, 1941. Rabindranath Tagore was an Indian polymath who contributed greatly to the fields of literature, art, and philosophy. Referred to as the Bard of Bengal, Tagore is credited with reshaping Bengali literature and music. The first non-European to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature, Tagore is also credited with composing the national anthems of India and Bangladesh. 3. Ernest Hemingway. American literary icon who was known for his straightforward prose and use of understatement. Ernest Hemingway. Birth date: July 21, 1899. Sun sign: Cancer. Birthplace: Oak Park, Illinois, United States. Died July 2, 1961. Ernest Hemingway was an American novelist and short story writer who had a strong impact on 20th century fiction. He published 7 novels and 6 short story collections and won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1954. A Farewell to Arms, For Whom the Bell Tolls and The Old Man and the Sea are some of his classic works. He ended his own life in July 1961. 4. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. British writer who created the character of Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Birth date: May 22, 1859. Sun sign: Gemini. Birthplace: Scotland. Died July 7, 1930. Physician-turned-author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is remembered for creating the iconic character Sherlock Holmes. He wrote 4 novels and 56 short stories on Holmes's detective adventures and also created the characters Professor Challenger and Brigadier Gerard. A sports lover, he had dabbled in cricket, football, and bodybuilding, too. Recommended lists. Comic book. 5. James Joyce. One of the most influential writers of the 20th century. James Joyce. Birth date. February 2, 1882. Sun sign. Aquarius. Birthplace. Rathgar, Ireland. Died. January 13, 1941. James Joyce was an Irish novelist, poet, teacher, short story writer, and literary critic. Widely considered one of the 20th century's most important and influential writers, James Joyce contributed immensely to the modernist avant-garde movement. Joyce's work has influenced several scholars and writers, such as Jorge Luis Borges, Salman Rushdie, Sean O'Riordan, Flann O'Brien, John Updike, and Cormac McCarthy. 6. Charles Bukowski. Poet and author known for his work, Mockingbird Wish Me Luck, and Love is a Dog from Hell. Charles Bukowski. Birth date. August 16, 1920. Sun sign. Leo. Birthplace. Andernach, Germany. Died. March 9, 1994. German-American poet and short story writer, Charles Bukowski, addressed the ordinary lives of poor Americans in most of his works. Since his death, he has been the subject of many critical books and articles. His stories have inspired several films like Tales of Ordinary Madness, Crazy Love, and Factotum. 7. Philip K. Dick. American science fiction writer. Philip K. Dick. Birth date. December 16, 1928. Sun sign. Sagittarius. Birthplace. Chicago, Illinois, United States. Died. March 2, 1982. Philip K. Dick was an American writer who was known for his work that explores varied social and philosophical themes. Dick's novels have inspired films like Blade Runner, Total Recall, Minority Report, and The Adjustment Bureau. In 2005, his novel Ubik was included in Time magazine's list of 100 greatest novels published in English since 1923. 8. William Faulkner. Regarded as one of the most significant American writers of all time. William Faulkner. Birth date. September 25, 1897. Sun sign. Libra. Birthplace. New Albany, Mississippi, United States. Died. July 6, 1962. Nobel Prize-winning Southern author William Faulkner is remembered for works The Sound and the Fury, A Rose for Emily, and As I Lay Dying. He immortalized Mississippi as the fictional Yoknapatawpha County in his works. He also won 2 Pulitzers, one each for A Fable in the Reivers. 9. J. D. Salinger. American author best known for his novel, The Catcher in the Rye. J. D. Salinger. Birth date. January 1, 1919. Sun sign. Capricorn. Birthplace. Manhattan, New York, United States. Died. January 27, 2010. J. D. Salinger is best remembered for his controversial novel The Catcher in the Rye, which was banned in many school libraries due to its sexual content. His other notable works include the anthology 9 Stories and the novella Hapworth. He spent much of his life in seclusion. 10. Jack London. Novelist and journalist. Jack London. Birth date. January 12, 1876. Sun sign. Capricorn. Birthplace. San Francisco, California, United States. Died. November 22, 1916. Jack London was an American novelist, social activist, and journalist. A pioneer of American magazines and commercial fiction, London was one of the first authors from the U.S. to become an international celebrity. His life and work inspired several films, such as the 1943 movie Jack London and 1980 film Klondike Fever. He was also portrayed in several TV series. 11. Ray Bradbury. One of the most celebrated 20th-century American writers, known for his novel, Fahrenheit 451. Ray Bradbury. Birth date: August 22, 1920. Sun sign: Leo. Birthplace: Waukegan, Illinois, United States. Died June 5, 2012. Ray Bradbury is best remembered for his writings in the science fiction, mystery, and horror genres, the most notable being the short story anthology Martian Chronicles and the novel Fahrenheit 451. He also contributed to the screenplays of various series and films, and won an Emmy for writing The Halloween Tree. 12. Anton Chekhov. One of the greatest writers of all time. Anton Chekhov. Birth date: January 29, 1860. Sun sign: Aquarius. Birthplace: Taganrog, Russia. Died July 15, 1904. Anton Chekhov was a Russian short story writer and playwright. Widely regarded as one of the greatest writers of short fiction, Chekhov's works have influenced the progression of the modern short story. As a playwright, Anton Chekhov is credited with influencing the rise of modernism in theater, along with August Strindberg and Henrik Ibsen. 13. Herman Melville. Novelist and short story writer of the American Renaissance period, best known for his works, Moby Dick, and Typee. Herman Melville. Birth date: August 1, 1819. Sun sign: Leo. Birthplace: New York, United States. Died September 28, 1891. Herman Melville was an American short story writer, novelist, and poet. One of his best-known works, Moby Dick, is widely regarded as one of the great American novels, although it did not garner much attention during his lifetime. Leviathan melvillei, a species of an extinct sperm whale, which was discovered in 2010, was named in his honor. 14. O. Henry. Short story writer. O. Henry. Birth date: September 11, 1862. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Greensboro, North Carolina. Died June 5, 1910. William Sidney Porter, better known by his pseudonym, O. Henry, is remembered as one of the world's greatest short story writers. One of his most notable works is The Gift of the Magi. His signature style included plot twists in the end. He was once jailed for embezzlement. 15. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Novelist and short story writer. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Birth date: July 4, 1804. Sun sign: Cancer. Birthplace: Salem, Massachusetts, United States. Died May 19, 1864. Nathaniel Hawthorne was an American writer, known for dark romanticism and moral-themed novels and short stories. A descendant of Judge John Hathorne of the Salem witch trials infamy, the writer was a friend of late American President Franklin Pierce. His well-known books include Twice Told Tales, The Scarlet Letter and The House of the Seven Gables. Nathaniel was married to painter Sophia Peabody. 16. Joseph Conrad. Known for short stories and novels like Lord Jim, Heart of Darkness and the Secret Agent. Joseph Conrad. Birth date: December 3, 1857. Sun sign: Sagittarius. Birthplace: Berdichev, Ukraine. Died August 3, 1924. Joseph Conrad was a Polish-British writer. Considered one of the greatest English-language novelists of all time, Conrad is credited with bringing a non-English sensibility into English-language literature. Many of his works have inspired several films, TV series, and video games. His anti-heroic characters and narrative style have influenced many authors like Salman Rushdie, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and T.S. Eliot. 17. Jorge Luis Borges. Short story writer and essayist best known for his books, Ficciones, and LLF. Jorge Luis Borges. Birth date: August 24, 1899. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Buenos Aires, Argentina. Died June 14, 1986. Jorge Luis Borges was an Argentine essayist, poet, short story writer, and translator. An important figure in Spanish-language literature, Jorge Luis Borges' works have contributed immensely to fantasy and the philosophical literature genre. It is also said that his works, which incorporated themes like labyrinths, dreams, and mythology, marked the beginning of 20th-century Latin American literature's magic realist movement. 18. Shirley Jackson. American writer known primarily for her works of horror and mystery. Shirley Jackson. Birth date: December 14, 1916. Sun sign: Sagittarius. Birthplace: San Francisco, California, United States. Died September 8, 1965. Shirley Jackson redefined the genres of horror and mystery through her works, which include over 200 short stories and 6 novels. Her iconic novel The Haunting of Hill House was made into a popular Netflix series and several movies, including the 1963 and 1999 versions of The Haunting. 19. Washington Irving. Author, historian, diplomat. Washington Irving. Birth date: April 3, 1783. Sun sign: Aries. Birthplace: New York City, New York. Died November 28, 1859. Widely known as the first American man of letters, Washington Irving penned the legendary tales of Rip Van Winkle and the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which are also called the first short stories by an American author. He had also had a brief stint as a lawyer. 20. Guy de Maupassant. French short story writer and naturalist. Guy de Maupassant. Birth date: August 5, 1850. Sun sign: Leo. Birthplace: Tourvel-sur-Arques, France. Died July 6, 1893. Guy de Maupassant was a French author who wrote 300 short stories during his illustrious career. Widely regarded as the father of the modern short story, Maupassant's stories are characterized by economy of style and depicted human lives in pessimistic terms. 21. Thomas Mann. German novelist who won the 1929 Nobel Prize in Literature. Thomas Mann. Birth date: June 6, 1875. Sun sign: Gemini. Birthplace: Lübeck, Germany. Died August 12, 1955. German author Thomas Mann, known for his epic novels, was part of the Hanseatic Mann family of authors. He depicted his own family in his novel Buddenbrooks. He won the 1929 Nobel Prize in Literature. During Hitler's reign, He fled to Switzerland and then to the U.S. 22. Ambrose Bierce. Journalist and writer, soldier. Ambrose Bierce. Birth date: June 24, 1842. Sun sign: Cancer. Birthplace: Meigs County, Ohio, United States. Died December 1, 1914. 23. Stephen King. A prolific and immensely popular author of horror fiction. Stephen King. Birth date: September 21, 1947. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Portland, Maine, United States. One of the most popular American authors, Stephen King has sold over 350 million copies of his works. Many of his books have been adapted into television series, miniseries, and films. One of the most decorated authors, King believes in giving back to society as he and his wife are noted philanthropists. 24. Flannery O'Connor. Novelist. Flannery O'Connor. Birth date: March 25, 1925. Sun sign: Aries. Birthplace: Savannah, Georgia, United States. Died August 3, 1964. 25. Nikolai Gogol. Russian novelist, short story writer and playwright. Nikolai Gogol. Birth date: April 1, 1809. Sun sign: Aries. Birthplace: Veliky Sorokinsky, Ukraine. Died March 4, 1852. Nikolai Gogol was a Ukrainian author who redefined Russian literature with his novels such as Dead Souls and his short stories such as The Overcoat and Diary of a Madman. Most of his works were influenced by Ukrainian folklore. He was typically fond of the grotesque as a literary element. 26. Leo Tolstoy. One of the greatest authors of all time. Leo Tolstoy. Birth date: September 9, 1828. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Yasnaya Polyana, Russia. Died November 20, 1910. Russian writer, Leo Tolstoy, is widely considered as one of the greatest authors ever. After experiencing a profound moral crisis in the 1870s, Tolstoy went through a phase of spiritual awakening, which had a great impact on his subsequent works that incorporated ideas on nonviolent resistance. These works influenced personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, thereby effectively changing the course of history. 27. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Best known for his novel, The Great Gatsby. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Birth date: September 24, 1896. Sun sign: Libra. Birthplace: St. Paul, Minnesota, United States. Died December 21, 1940. Novelist, essayist, screenwriter, and short story writer F. Scott Fitzgerald is widely regarded as one of the greatest American writers of the 20th century. However, he wasn't much popular during his lifetime. His works gained international acclaim only in the years following his untimely death at 44. Many of his works have been adapted into films. 28. Rudyard Kipling. Journalist, poet and novelist. Rudyard Kipling. Birth date: December 30, 1865. Sun sign: Capricorn. Birthplace: Mumbai, India. Died January 18, 1936. English journalist, short story writer, poet, and novelist Rudyard Kipling is best remembered for his fiction work The Jungle Book. He was born in India and many of his works are inspired by his life in the country. He was one of the most popular English writers in the late 19th and early 20th century. 29. Ian Fleming. Author of James Bond series. Ian Fleming. Birth date: May 28, 1908. Sun sign: Gemini. Birthplace: Mayfair, London. Died August 12, 1964. Ian Fleming was a British writer, naval intelligence officer, and journalist. Fleming is credited with creating one of the most popular characters of all time, James Bond. His James Bond series of novels have sold more than 100 million copies, making them one of the best-selling fictional book series in history. Jamaica's Ian Fleming International Airport is named after him. 30. Dashiel Hammett. Regarded as one of the best mystery writers of all time. Dashiel Hammett. Birth date: May 27, 1894. Sun sign: Gemini. Birthplace: Street, Marys County, Maryland, United States. Died January 10, 1961. 31. Sake. Writer. Birth date: December 18, 1870. Sun sign: Sagittarius. Birthplace: Sidwi, Myanmar, Burma. Died November 14, 1916. 32. Albert Camus. Philosopher and novelist. Albert Camus. Birth date: November 7, 1913. Sun sign: Scorpio. Birthplace: Dreen, Algeria. Died January 4, 1960. Albert Camus was a French philosopher and the second youngest recipient of the Nobel Prize in Literature. His philosophical views contributed to the rise of absurdism, a philosophical concept. Also a prolific writer, Albert Camus had an illustrious literary career. Most of his philosophical essays and novels are still influential. 33. Louisa May Alcott. Birth date: November 29, 1832. Sun sign: Sagittarius. Birthplace: Germantown, Pennsylvania, United States. Died March 6, 1888. Novelist and short story writer Louisa May Alcott is best remembered as the author of the 1868 novel Little Women and its sequels, Little Men and Jo's Boys. She initially wrote using the pseudonym A. M. Barnard. She never married and remained a lifelong feminist and abolitionist. 34. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Nobel Prize winner in literature. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Birth date: March 6, 1927. Sun sign: Pisces. Birthplace: Aracataca, Colombia. Died April 17, 2014. Nobel Prize-winning Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez, also known as Gabo, is remembered as one of the most prominent figures of the magic realism literary style. His novels 100 Years of Solitude and Love in the Time of Cholera have achieved cult status. He previously worked as a journalist. 35. Sylvia Plath. Famous for her books, The Bell Jar, and Ariel. Sylvia Plath. Birth date: October 27, 1932. Sun sign: Scorpio. Birthplace: Boston, Massachusetts, United States. Died February 11, 1963. Sylvia Plath was an American short story writer, novelist, and poet. Plath is credited with popularizing confessional poetry and won a posthumous Pulitzer Prize in Poetry. Sylvia Plath achieved popularity and critical acclaim despite suffering from clinical depression for the most part of her adult life. Her story inspired the 2003 film Sylvia, in which she was portrayed by Gwyneth Paltrow. 36. Catherine Mansfield. One of the most highly regarded short story writers of the 20th century. Catherine Mansfield. Birth date: October 14, 1888. Sun sign: Libra. Birthplace: Wellington. Died January 9, 1923. Catherine Mansfield was a New Zealand modernist writer best remembered for her short stories. Her life and career inspired several films, plays, novels, and TV series. In 1973, she became the subject of a BBC miniseries titled A Picture of Catherine Mansfield. In 2011, actress Kate Elliott played Mansfield in a TV biopic titled Bliss. 37. Haruki Murakami. Writer: Haruki Murakami. Birth date: January 12, 1949. Sun sign: Capricorn. Birthplace: Kyoto, Japan. Japanese writer Haruki Murakami has authored best-selling works such as Norwegian Wood and Kafka on the Shore, which explore the genres of surrealism and magic realism. He has also translated works by J.D. Salinger and Raymond Carver. He has been named to Time 100 and has won numerous awards. 38. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Best known for his novella Notes from the Underground. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Birth date: November 11, 1821. Sun sign: Scorpio. Birthplace: Moscow, Russia. Died February 9, 1881. Russian author Fyodor Dostoevsky is remembered as one of the pioneers of existentialism. He is best known for psychological and philosophical themes in his works, such as Crime and Punishment and The Idiot. He was arrested for being critical of Tsarist Russia and spent a 4-year prison term in Siberia. 39. William S. Burroughs. Best known for his third novel, Naked Lunch. William S. Burroughs. Birth date: February 5, 1914. Sun sign: Aquarius. Birthplace: St. Louis, Missouri, United States. Died August 2, 1997. Beat Generation author William S. Burroughs soared to fame with his novels Junkie and Naked Lunch, with the latter being at the center of a censorship issue. Also known by his pseudonym, William Lee, he exhibited artwork such as the gunshot paintings. He accidentally shot and killed his second wife. 40. John Cheever. Novelist and short story writer. John Cheever. Birth date: May 27, 1912. Sun sign: Gemini. Birthplace: Quincy. Died June 18, 1982. 41. George R. R. Martin. Author of epic fantasy novels, A Song of Ice and Fire. George R. R. Martin. Birth date: September 20, 1948. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Bayonne, New Jersey, United States. George R. R. Martin wrote the epic fantasy series of novels, A Song of Ice and Fire, which inspired the iconic Emmy-winning HBO series Game of Thrones. Also known as the American Tolkien, he was featured on Time 100. He has earned the Hugo, Nebula, and Bram Stoker Awards, too. 42. Julio Cortazar. Novelist and translator. Julio Cortazar. Birth date: August 26, 1914. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Ixelles, Belgium. Died February 12, 1984. Julio Cortazar was an Argentine novelist, essayist, and short story writer. Counted among the founders of a literary movement called the Latin American Boom, Cortazar is credited with influencing a generation of Spanish-speaking writers and readers in Europe and America. He is also regarded as one of the most innovative authors of his time. 43. Kazuo Ishiguro. Nobel Prize winner in literature. Kazuo Ishiguro. Birth date: November 8, 1954. Sun sign: Scorpio. Birthplace: Nagasaki, Japan. Nobel Prize-winning British Asian author Sir Kazuo Ishiguro also won the Man Booker Prize for the novel The Remains of the Day. Time named his Never Let Me Go the best novel of 2005. He has also penned several screenplays and songs, and is known for his signature first-person narrative style. 44. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Writer: Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Birth date: September 15, 1977. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Enugu, Nigeria. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is a Nigerian writer and feminist. She is popular for writing novels, such as Purple Hibiscus and Half of a Yellow Sun. She is credited with popularizing African literature among a new generation of readers, especially in the United States. In 2015, she was named in Time magazine's list of 100 most influential people. 45. Alice Walker. The first African-American woman to win the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. Alice Walker. Birth date: February 9, 1944. Sun sign: Aquarius. Birthplace: Eatonton, Georgia, United States. Author Alice Walker is best known for her National Book Award and Pulitzer Prize-winning novel The Color Purple. She is credited with coining the term womanist, to mean feminist of color. Her marriage with Melvin Roseman Leventhal was the first official interracial marriage in the state of Mississippi. 46. Philip Roth. One of the most awarded American writers of his generation. Philip Roth. Birth date: March 19, 1933. Sun sign: Pisces. Birthplace: Newark, New Jersey, United States. Died May 22, 2018. Philip Roth was a novelist and short story writer best remembered for creating the fictional character Nathan Zuckerman, who featured in many of his novels. The recipient of the 1997 Pulitzer Prize, he also received the inaugural Franz Kafka Prize. Roth was one of the most awarded American writers of his generation. Born a Jew, he became an atheist later on. 47. Hermann Hess. Poet, novelist and painter who won the 1946 Nobel Prize in Literature. Hermann Hess. Birth date: July 2, 1877. Sun sign: Cancer. Birthplace: Calw, Germany. Died August 9, 1962. German-born Swiss poet, novelist, and painter Hermann Hesse received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1946. He explored individuals' search for authenticity, self-knowledge, and spirituality in his works. An intense and headstrong person from childhood, he developed an early interest in reading. He started writing as a young man and became an influential author in the German-speaking world. 48. Agatha Christie. English author known for her detective novels and short stories. Agatha Christie. Birth date: September 15, 1890. Sun sign: Virgo. Birthplace: Torquay, Devon, England. Died January 12, 1976. Even after 4 decades after her death, Agatha Christie remains an influential figure in the world of literature and entertainment as most of her books continue to serve as inspiration to films, TV series, and video games. With over 2 billion copies of her novels sold, she holds the Guinness World Records for best-selling fiction writer of all time. 49. Anne Rice. American author best known for her series of novels, The Vampire Chronicles. Anne Rice. Birth date: October 4, 1941. Sun sign: Libra. Birthplace: New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. 50. Gilbert K. Chesterton. One of the greatest writers of the 20th century, best known as the Prince of Paradox. Gilbert K. Chesterton. Birth date: May 29, 1874. Sun sign: Gemini. Birthplace: Kensington, London, United Kingdom. Died June 14, 1936. Gilbert K. Chesterton was an English writer, philosopher, and art critic. A prolific writer, he composed around 80 books, hundreds of poems, around 200 short stories, and 4,000 essays. Often referred to as the Prince of Paradox, he had as many detractors as he had admirers. He is considered a successor to Victorian authors like Matthew Arnold and John Ruskin.